Hi, I'm Martin from More Strategic, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of benchmarking performance. One of our great challenges in the not-for-profit sector is about measurement, and too often we just measure our performance against last year. Did we do better or worse than our budget? But actually what we need to look at is our performance relative to the market, which isn't that easy because we don't have good sources of information for how fundraising performs. We can look at annual reports, and the ACNC's made that a lot easier, but annual report data is fine for income, but once you look at expenditure, it's not very granular and doesn't allow us to make very well-informed decisions. There are some fantastic tools out there for benchmarking. The Pareto benchmarking and Blackboard are brilliant for looking at your transactions across your direct marketing programs in particular, and I urge you to join those programs. But what we need to look at is our income and expenditure and salary costs across every type of fundraising. So here at More Strategic, we've created the cost effectiveness benchmarking service to do just that. We collect data from you in 9 different categories of fundraising across 20 different fundraising programs. And we look then at your income, expenditure and salary costs. Now, the program that we had in 2014 had nearly $500 million of income and nearly $177 million worth of expenditure across those direct costs and salaries. So those of you who are quick on the maths can see that that comes out at an overall cost-income ratio of about 35%. Now, that's useful and interesting, and we can compare and see and reassure our board that we're not spending as much as perhaps they think we are. But we actually need to look at that in a much more granular level and look at it on performance by type of fundraising, because as you can see from this chart, it varies enormously from sort of 6 or 7% through to 20-30%, and even when you look at lottery programs, to over 60% cost-income ratio. We can also use this data, because we're breaking it down by type of fundraising, to look at where people are getting most of their revenue. And of course, what's sort of not surprising here is that unfortunately most of our revenue is actually coming from the areas that have the highest cost-to-income ratio, particularly across events and direct marketing, and relatively little money is coming in from those fairly cheap sources of fundraising in corporate major gifts and foundations. With this income, by collecting it over 3 or 4 years, we can also begin to look at what type of fundraising is growing so that you know where to put your energy and investment into the future. And again, we can see quite a variation here in growth rate over the period 2013 to 2014. Now, there are a lot of variables that go into creating your cost-income ratio and how you're growing. We need to be able to understand the size of the organisation, for example. It determines the maturity of your fundraising program, and your mix will obviously determine part of your cost-to-income ratio. So in all the charts that we produce in this report, we show you a comparison to other organisations of a similar size and they're all colour-coded. Hopefully, when we get enough charities in, we'll be able to actually do a breakdown to look at just disability charities, or charities in Victoria or New South Wales, or just charities with a turnover of more than $5 million in direct marketing, for example. When we do the reporting, we collect information, so we're looking at your cost-income ratio, your income per head of population, which is particularly important for those state organisations to look at how you're actually performing across state boundaries. We also look at that mix, the growth rate, the return on labour, so for every dollar you spend on staff, how much are you actually getting back, and also what percentage of your expenditure by program is on direct costs and on salary costs. And all of this gives us a huge amount of information to be able to make informed choices about where to invest in the future and how to set more realistic budgets going forward. Our experience to date of running this program has been that boards in particular love it, because it gives them a sense of reassurance that we're not completely away from other organisations. And quite often we found that there's a bigger challenge with charities spending too little than spending too much. So we would love to help you to know exactly how you're performing relative to the market. So please do join us. Give me a call, drop me an email, martin@morestrategic.com.au or 0435 306 202, and we'd love you to be part of this important program so we actually know how we're all doing and how fundraising is growing. Thank you very much indeed.